and welcome to my ASMR channel. My name's Pete, and this is Pete Does ASMR. Today's video, I'm really excited to start this series. This is the Kybalion read-along series. I mentioned it a few videos back, but today I actually wanted to, jump into it rather than just putting it off. This first episode I'm gonna be doing on my laptop. It's free to read and I'll put it in the description, but I'm saying like I wanted to have the actual physical copy and read off of that just for the aesthetic, for the actual like book sounds, but I don't have it with me yet. I need to just order it now, so forgive me for that. But again, like the laptop will definitely suffice, and again I'll have the description to where I'm reading off of, so you can check it out yourself and maybe read along or read in ahead for the next one. Today's video, I'm going to be doing the introduction and the title page. These chapters aren't very long, but I guess for video, it kind of might drag on a little bit. So luckily, these chapters are short, so I won't do that. So just a brief, what is the Kybalion? I'm going to read it right here. And the Kybalion is a book originally published in 1908 by the three initiates. The authors are referred to as these three initiates. They have no name, but they're the ones who kind of like contributed and made this book, wrote it back in the day. And it says it purports to convey the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus. And he's the guy that created Hermeticism, that like philosophy of Hermeticism and all of that. So, I mean, basically this book is basically his teachings, Hermes' teachings. It just gives you a brief thing. And the other thing I thought that was really cool about this book is it mentions that this book stumbles upon you when you need it. And that's when you read it and it kind of, changes your life, if you will. And that's why I'm so excited to share this book with you, because it changed my life in the way I see things, my perspective on a lot of things. It kind of helps you open your eyes to everything around you and understand there's like more than meets the eye, as they say. And there's just so much more out there rather than what we're, experiencing. So it's good it really opens your eyes to a lot of things, and that's beautiful. I feel like that's necessary for self-development and, seeing the beautiful in this world. So I'm gonna start reading this first one right here. Again, is the introduction. Feel free to read along or just listen to me read. Okay, the introduction. We take great pleasure in presenting to the attention of students and investigators of the secret doctrines this little work based upon the world-old Hermetic teachings. There has been so little written upon the subject, notwithstanding the countless references to the teachings in the many works upon occultism, that the many earnest searchers after the arcane truths will doubtless welcome the appearance of this present volume. The purpose of this work is not the enunciation of any special philosophy or doctrine, but rather is to give to the students a statement of the truth that will serve to reconcile the many bits of occult knowledge that they may have acquired, but which are apparently opposed to each other, and which often serve to discourage and disgust the beginner in the study. Our intent is not to erect a new temple of knowledge, but rather to place in the hands of the student a master key with which he may open the many inner doors in the temple of mystery through the main portals he has already entered. See, like that alone is just, mind-boggling. It's insane. Like this book is really out there, but it it's just crazy. Okay. There's no portion of the occult teachings possessed by the world which have been so closely guarded as the fragments of the Hermetic teachings which have come down to us over the tens of centuries which have elapsed since the lifetime of its great founder Hermes Trismegistus, the scribe of the gods, who dwelt in old Egypt in the days when the present race of men was in its infancy, contemporary with Abraham, and if the legends be true, an instructor of that venerable sage. Hermes was and is the great central sun of occultism, whose rays have served to illume, the countless teachings which have been promulgated since his time. All the fundamental and basic teachings embedded in the historic teachings of every race may be traced back to Hermes. Even the most ancient teachings of India undoubtedly have their roots in the original Hermetic teachings. From the land of the Ganges, many advanced occultists wandered to the land of Egypt and sat at the feet of the master. From him they obtained the master key, which explained and reconciled the divergent views, and thus the secret doctrine was firmly established. From other lands also came the learned ones, all of whom regarded Hermes as the master of masters, and his influence was so great that in spite of the many wanderings from the path on the part of the centuries of teachers in these different lands, there may still be found a certain basic resemblance and correspondence which underlies the many and often quite divergent theories entertained and taught by the occultists of these different lands today. The student of comparative religions will be able to perceive the influence of the Hermetic teachings in every religion worthy of the name, now known to man, whether it be dead religion or one in full vigor in our own times. There's always certain correspondence in spite of the contradictory features, and the Hermetic teachings act as a great reconciler. The life work of Hermes seems to have been in the direction of planting the great seed truth, which has grown and blossomed in so many strange forms, rather than to establish a school of philosophy which would dominate the world's thought. Nevertheless, the original truths taught by him have been kept intact in their original purity by a few men each age, who, refusing great numbers of half-developed students and followers, followed the Hermetic custom and reserved their truth for the few who were ready to comprehend and master it. From lip to ear, the truth has been handed down among the few. There have always been willing to use their lamps to relight the lesser lamps of the outside world. When the light of truth grew dim and clouded by reason of neglect, and when the wicks became clogged with foreign matter, there were always a few to tend faithfully the altar of the truth, upon which was kept the light, the perpetual lamp of wisdom. These men devoted their lives to the labor of love, which the poet has so well stated in his lines. Oh, let not the flame die out, cherished age after age in its dark cavern, in its holy temple cherished, fed by pure ministers of love. Let not the flame die out. These men have never sought popular approval nor numbers of followers. They are indifferent to these things, for they know how few there are in each generation who are ready for the truth, or who would recognize if it were presented to them. They reserve the strong meat for men, while others furnish the milk for babes. They reserve their pearls of wisdom for the few elect who recognize their value and who wear them in their crowns, instead of casting them before the materialistic, vulgar swine who would trample them in the mud and mix them with the disgusting mental food. But still these men have never forgotten or overlooked the original teachings of Hermes regarding the passing on of the words of the truth to those ready to receive it, which teaching is stated in the Kybalion as follows: where fall the footsteps of the master, the ears of those ready for his teachings open wide. And again, when the ears of the student are ready to hear, then cometh the lip to fill them with wisdom. But their customary attitude has always been strictly in accordance with the other Hermetic aphorism, also in the Kybalion. The lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. And that's crazy. That's when they say that, that reminds me of like finding this on your own, or the book finding you, really. So yeah, if you're ready for the knowledge, if you're ready for the wisdom, like the book comes to you, like that's just really insane to me. And in my experience, that's how it worked out. I have a little more here. There are those who have criticized this attitude of the Hermeticists and who have claimed that they did not manifest the proper spirit in their policy of seclusion and reticence. But a moment's glance back over the pages of history will show the wisdom of the masters who knew the folly of attempting to teach the world that which was neither ready or willing to receive. Their medicines have sought to be martyrs and have instead sat silently inside with a pitying smile on their closed lips, while the heathen raged noisily about them in their customary amusement of putting to death, torture, and torture the honest but misguided enthusiasts who imagined that they could force upon a race of barbarians the truth capable of being understood only by the elect who had advanced along the path. And the spirit of persecution has not as yet died out in the land. There are certain hermetic teachings which, if publicly promulgated, would bring down upon the teachers a great cry of scorn and revilement from the multitude, who would again raise a cry of crucify. In this little work, we have endeavored to give you an idea of fundamental teachings of the Kybalion, striving to give you the working principles, leaving you to apply them yourselves. Rather than attempting to work out the teaching in detail, if you are a true student, you will be able to work out and apply these principles. If not, then you must develop yourself into one, for otherwise the hermetic teachings will be as words to you. The three initiates. So that's the introduction. And I'm going to read the title page. The title page is pretty much nothing. It just says the Kybalion, a study of the Hermetic philosophy of ancient Egypt and Greece. Then it says, by the three initiates. It says, the lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding. So, yeah, that's the introduction and the title page. I hope you guys read along, or I hope you guys took that in. Again, I'm going to leave the link I'm reading off of in the description so you guys could read it for yourself. You know, it took me a few reads to grasp a lot of the things certain chapters were saying. You know, like I said, this book is very out there, but in a very beautiful way. You know, when I say it's out there, maybe it's because I'm just being a little, you know, I'm just not considering just seeing the world from another place. You know, my perspective is in one spot, and I just need to be open-minded to, you know, seeing the world in a different way. And if you do that, if you have an open mind, and you know you're ready to open your eyes to just everything around us, I highly, you know, I advise you to try to read this book, try to apply it to your life. Some of the teachings in it, I know I struggle with it sometimes, but you know, through conditioning and through repetition, if you apply these things into your life, I feel like they will really help you out. I know they really help me out. This is such a great tool. This book is such a great tool. And if you asked me for anything that would help me along my journey of self-development and, you know, finding myself, higher consciousness, this would be where I tell you to start. So again, maybe you're ready for that wisdom, maybe you're not. And if not, that's fine. If you are, then here we are. You can follow me on this journey of reading this book to you. This is probably one of the fourth or fifth time I've read it, but every time I read it, I find something new, and it's such a beautiful experience. And I am so happy to share this experience with you. And by the end of it, I hope you have learned so much, and you learn how to apply these things to your life so you could flourish into who you really want to be, because that's my goal. I know that should be your goal, and it will be. So again, I hope you enjoyed this first episode. The next, I promise to have the book in hand so we could read it. You know, the aesthetic, the sounds, it's just a beautiful experience. You know, it's more personal reading, actually having the physical copy. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys are vibrating high. I hope you are remaining positive in your lives, remaining on that positive pole of all things. Till the next video, I hope you guys are great. I'll see you.